Okay. Alright, let me get my... Alright. Hold up. I'll be comparing it a little bit. I'm just getting all the consoles real quick. Gosh dang, I just realized I have 4 Nintendo consoles already. Alright. Hold up. Alright, I'm back. I'm gonna get those. I'm not gonna be comparing it to the normal Switch, but I will be comparing it to the Switch Lite. Hold up. Alright. So we're gonna be comparing from oldest to newest. Let's get this started in a little bit. Alright, I'm back. And in today's video, we're gonna be comparing these retro consoles to the Switch 2. Alright, remember to like and subscribe. First thing I'm gonna say. Alright, so let's do the oldest one I have. Hi, okay. Okay, so Game Boy. The Game Boy wasn't that portable. I mean, you could fit it in your pocket, but it wasn't that portable because how heavy it was. It was like a brick. The batteries, I mean, 4 wasn't that bad. 4 batteries wasn't that bad for this. And the only thing I would say is I mean, this was good for its time. Can you guys please like and subscribe? 239 subscribers. Let's go. Thank y'all for subscribing. Okay. So the Game Boy to the Nintendo Switch 2, I mean, no 2 controllers. I mean, obviously, it's portable. Well, Switch 2 is a portable too, but it was switchable. Oh, okay, you subbed, all right. 240. Let's go. All right. And the Game Boy wasn't really that bad for its time. It was honestly one of the... Are you serious? Y'all, one of y'all just unsubscribed. $240. I need to get to 250, and y'all guys subscribed again. And y'all guys are gonna unsubscribe. Watch. If y'all, anyways. Oh my gosh. Just stay subscribed. Anyways, the Game Boy, I mean, it was very good for its time. It was probably one of the best consoles for its time, considering the games and how popular the NES was. It was very good for its time. Well, one thing that was a little bit bad is that the screen is not lit up, but like Nintendo didn't have that until the GBA SP, so. Okay, next, what's my second oldest console? All right, we already got Game Boy Advance SP. And yeah, subscribed again. Okay. Game Boy Advance SP. This one. Well, I'm gonna be saying stuff that the game. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the game. I'm gonna say stuff about the Game Boy that was better than the Switch 2. Something that the Game Boy had that the Switch 2 didn't was the batteries, the 4 batteries. And that was a pretty good way. How much? I forgot how much hours of battery it has. Pretty sure it has like 7 or 8. I mean, the only thing that was like pretty bad about it is, well, yeah, that's basically it. I mean, the Switch 2 doesn't really have anything. Switch 2 is better in every single way than the Game Boy. I mean, besides the D-pad. Yeah. The Game Boy had a D-pad and the Switch 2 didn't. And D-pad was amazing. I don't know why they removed that. Okay, now we're gonna get to the Game Boy Advance. Now the Game Boy Advance buttons were bigger. The buttons were bigger. I remember Atari from back in the day. Yeah, Atari, the one joystick. The one big joystick. It was like an arcade. Oh, what? Let me fix that. Okay, there we go. Okay, Game Boy Advance SP. The buttons are, I think, bigger. Yeah, they're bigger than the Switch. The buttons, do they feel better? I think so. I for sure think so. They feel better. The D-pad, yes, it feels better. For sure, it feels better. The Switch didn't even have a D-pad. It just had 4 arrows. The light, I mean, this had it. The portability on this thing, the clamshell was amazing. I mean, everything about the Game Boy Advance. What was one thing that Switch had that this hadn't? 2 controllers. Again, it's portable only. Like the Switch Lite, it's portable only. You can't take off these controllers. I mean, you could play Joy-Cons with it, but like, you know. Game Boy Advance SP did have LNR. Okay, now let's say, so the thing that's better with the Game Boy Advance and the Switch 2. Things that are better than the Game Boy Advance has, the Switch 2 doesn't. B and A buttons are bigger. D-pad, Switch 2 doesn't. This has a clamshell design, which I really like because it's portable. And yeah, that's everything better. Everything that Switch 2 had that this didn't is, of course, better graphics. I mean, you could play on the TV. I mean, yeah. Well, of course, magnetic Joy-Cons and all the other stuff, but magnetic Joy-Cons, Switch 2 has that. Game Boy Advance SP doesn't. Let's see, GBA SP. And then the Game Boy Advance had a special charger. Nintendo Switch 2 has the actual USB-C, so that's better. One like. If y'all guys could please like and subscribe. It's shown right here. 240 right now. I'm trying to hit 250. Anyways, so we're done with the Game Boy Advance SP. We're done with this. And we're also done with this. So now let's go to my third oldest. Well, it's actually pretty new. 2DS is not that old. It's not that old at all. I saw a video about the 2DS, and it said that these two screens, they're just one big one on the 2DS. I mean, it makes sense because it's straight. Alright, so things that are better on the 2DS that Switch 2 doesn't have. 2 screens, obvious. 2 screens. Well, it's not actually, like I just told you, 2 screens, but it's 2, like, screens apart. Built-in camera, soft buttons if you like that, eShop music, better themes, a stylus, a D-pad, not a built-in mic, because the Switch 2 had a built-in mic too. I think that's it. I mean, well, more portability, of course. 2DS is definitely more portable than Switch 2. Switch 2 is gigantic. Now, what does the Switch 2 have that the 2DS doesn't? I'm not gonna say better graphics. I already said that like 5 billion times for the Game Boy Advance SP and the other one. But let's see one thing that's better. Two magnetic controllers as the Switch 2 has. This has a stylus. No, I forgot. Opposite. The Switch 2 has 2 Joy-Cons. Has two joysticks. It has. What's on the? Oh yeah, just joystick. It has better charging because this one has its own USB. Of course, smaller games. And yeah, I mean, well, yeah. Okay. Now, the last one, I mean, I'll probably get the other ones. I'll probably get more retro consoles. Because I already reviewed the Game Boy Advance SP, and 2DS. Those are the only ones that are like more than 5 years old. Well, no, I mean more than like 7 years. I mean more than like 10 years. 2DS is more than 10 years, I'm pretty sure. Game Boy Advance is definitely more than 10 years, and Game Boy is definitely more than 10 years. But the only other one that I have is Switch Lite. So now we're going to be comparing the Switch Lite to Switch 2. So one thing that the Switch Lite has that the Switch 2 doesn't is very compact. Of course, it's portable. Soft buttons. Is that it? That's really it. I mean, the Switch Lite and the Switch are basically the same console, right? So the things that this have better than the Switch is the only things, if you could please like and subscribe, the only things that are better are the soft buttons and the compact, the portability compact. Now let me go get my other retro consoles. Hold up. I'm only getting the ones that are, okay. So, Just want to let you know that one person's not here. Alright. I already reviewed the Game Boy Advance SP. The 2DS. And the Switch Lite. But now we're going to be doing this one. Sega Portable. The big PlayStation 2. Alright. Alright. No one's in the thing. Alright. No one's in the live stream, but I'm gonna still do it because it'll just be weird for me to just be like doing nothing. I need to do something for the people to come, so. Alright. So the Sega Genesis. Sega Genesis Portable. One thing that this had, that the Switch 2 didn't, let's see, is a 6 buttons, circle D-pad. The Switch 2 didn't even have a D-pad. This, though, has a circle D-pad. This is a Sega Genesis Portable player. This, I mean, that's really it. Stuff that the Switch, now we're going to be talking about stuff that the Switch 2 has that this doesn't. Magnetic controllers could play on TV, better graphics, 2 joysticks. And yeah, I mean, I guess that's it. Now we're going to be doing the PS2. Alright. The PS2 was one of the best selling consoles. Alright. The PS2, we got the PS2 Slim. It's very slim. Like super slim. Like very, very slim. Like this, the PlayStation 2, look how slim it is. It's very slim. One thing that this, now we're going to be talking about what does this have, the PS2 has, that the Switch 2 doesn't. Alright, first thing. Disc. This has disc, Switch 2 didn't. This has 2 places for memory cards. This has, this could play Blu-ray, you know, all the, wait, is that a ribbon? Yes, it's a ribbon, okay. It could play Blu-ray, it could play disc, it could play movies, it could play CDs. 2 controller ports, Switch 2 has that. And yeah, now we're going to be talking about the stuff that the Switch 2 had that the PS2 didn't. First thing, the Switch 2 had portable. It wasn't just thing. That's why it's called Switch. The Switch 2 has 2 Joy-Cons. This doesn't have like 2 things you can put on. Switch, this PlayStation can't put it on. It don't have a screen. It will only put the screen on the TV. So you know what I mean. You know what I mean. The PlayStation 2, you know, the Nintendo Switch 2 had better graphics, of course. It had not a D-pad. It had, let's see, red and blue. Well, actually, no, the icon has a little bit red and blue. I don't think we're counting that, though. Please like and subscribe. That one person's not here. That's here. Anyways, the PlayStation 2 had, let's see. You know, Switch 2 had. The Switch 2 has smaller game cartridges. The Switch 2 had, let's think, kickstand. I mean, PlayStation 2 can't even have that, so. Had, let's see. it had, let's think. Mario Kart. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna start listing all the games that were set in the Switch 2 Direct. I mean, that's really it. I mean, yeah. Well, this thing did have. Pretty sure that's it. I don't think it had anything else. If another person subscribes, then I'm gonna keep going live for 5 more minutes. We have 240. So 10 more until face reveal. Alright. And it's pretty much it. Anyways. Peace out. See you in the next one. Thanks for 240 subscribers. And yeah. Bye.